Some of you have been here a while now and might know that I'm a pretty lazy man. But how on earth can you have a healthy diet that's also easy and convenient? Well, if you live in the US, it is your lucky day because I've got the perfect solution for you. Factor offers you the chance to get fresh, ready-made meals delivered directly to your doorstep. They're never frozen, they're full of high quality ingredients and packed with nutritional value too. It even offers meals for those following different lifestyles and diets. So what are you waiting for? Go and click that lovely link at the top of the description now. You'll get plenty of money off your first order with Factor and some off the few after too. You'd be a fool to miss out on an opportunity like that. Well, we might be just about clinging on in a battle for the European places in the Premier League, but today's episode is all about the Cups. We face Leeds United, who put us out of last year's FA Cup, and we've got an all-British affair in the Europa Conference League. There's also a bit of transfer news from deadline day, so let's go and see what Dougie's been up to. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 96 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today for the final episode in a croaky week of videos with two massive cup ties. We've got the first leg of a Conference League tie against Aberdeen, a game against Leeds in the FA Cup, which is identical to the one we were put out in last year. And we're trying to see what happens in this race for Europe in the league. We've had a transfer deadline day we've got to reflect on too. So if you're looking forward to all of that and a little look at the job centre as well, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let's start by having a look at transfer deadline day because Dougie Freedman, he's always the star of the show. Well, here we go then. And compared to a normal Dougie Freedman transfer window, again, it's been quite calm, a bit like deadline day was in August. However, I'm not particularly pleased with what's been done this time around. Mainly because after chasing brilliant strikers all window, one of which you saw in the last episode, he ended up signing an awful one. That guy from Copenhagen we'll meet in a minute. But he also sold another defensive player, which combined with something that happened an episode or two ago, is a little bit of a problem. Because Ruben Pulido, one of our centre-half options, he has been released. He requested to leave the club. Dougie Freedman agreed a package with him after having a chat. So we're now one defender down already. Then you add in that Owen Hurley has been sold, he's gone to Real Sociedad, and we're very short at the minute. He wasn't the best player. I've got no problem with him leaving, but without a replacement, it is a problem. And we should reflect on the fact he did pretty well for us. On the other side of things, though, we've got another loan to buy coming in. Eduardo Bois is the man who comes in at left back. A better solution than Tyrick Mitchell, who is well over the hill now. But that means we've got three natural left backs who can't play anywhere else in the back four. And when you look at the competitions we're in and the lack of squad depth at centre half and right back, it does give me a big problem for the rest of this season. So that's something I'm not best pleased about. Not the most balanced squad now heading into the second half of the year. And it wasn't really helped by the other first team addition either, because that man was Francois Xavier Vallet. He is a centre forward and number 10 from Copenhagen. Not a bad number 10, but we don't play with that sort of player. And he's an awful striker because he can't finish, he can't head the ball, he's not tall. I mean, he's not really got an awful lot going for him. We had loads of brilliant ones linked with us, some great finishers, many of whom rejected us for other clubs in fairness. But his signing just seems so out of character. He certainly doesn't meet the profile of the other ones, which is why it's all the more confusing. But he's here and we will probably have to make use of him. But I don't really see him as an upgrade. And I didn't really see a striker as a priority because we already have four very good ones. Having said that, I'm sure we'll get to see both of those guys at some point during this episode. For now, let's have a look at what's been happening on the pitch because overall, it has been much the same. We've had four pretty easy winnable home games on paper since the last episode. We've won them all. We've played one side away from home that are competitive with us and we've lost it. So much the same pattern throughout. You were with me for the narrow defeat against United as we let in that late free kick from Marcus Rashford. We did bounce back in the next game though, an FA Cup win against Oxford. Aldarvin Campbell with one each and Ribeiro with a brace. That was a nice comfortable win after back-to-back defeats. Since then, a sea of 2-1s, 3 victories, 1 defeat and lots of injuries as well. Against West Ham, it was Chris Lewis and Jimmy Campbell with the goals. Against Fulham, Guy Vaknin and Rodrigo Ribeiro, he scored an 89th minute winner. Ben Hames got injured in that game and has been out ever since. A 2-1 defeat against Wolves. We had so many injuries it was laughable. We scored a very early goal, we were pegged back almost immediately, and we never really looked like getting a result. A 2-1 victory did follow at Burnley though. A good game with both strikers getting on the score sheet, Rodrigo Ribeiro and Guy Vaknin amongst them, and we came back from behind, so showed some grit, showed some character, and most importantly, pushed us back in the race for the top 7. So we are in a pretty good league position at the minute, albeit this season will probably fall behind. 3 games in other competitions, just 2 in the league. Going to be very hard to judge the rest of the season. It's going to lead to a packed schedule in April and May already, and if we get through in some of these cups, it could get even harder. Having said that, we've probably not had the worst draw in Europe, albeit the Scottish sides have been very good, and we are in 7th in the Premier League. So there are a lot more positives than negatives. If we have a look at the job centre at the minute, not a great deal about, very few jobs at all. And if we have a look at the security side of things, there aren't that many that are potentially on the edge. The big Premier League clubs, bar Spurs, have got themselves back up there. And if you look at Spurs, they've hired Guardiola, so they're probably not going to pull the trigger that quickly. There are a few other jobs in Europe, but no massive ones. The only other one that's popped up is Milan, and their squad is way over the hill. So let's go and focus on Crystal Palace. 2 big games in 2 cup competitions, and I want to win something this year. We've got Saturday, Thursday, it's 5 days off. If everyone's fit, I'm not going to worry about resting people. But are most of this team going to be fit is the big question. Well, let's go and have a look. Apparently, Ellen Road is going to be sparsely populated today. I'm not so sure about that. We look like we're pretty fit. So we'll get in the new signings. We'll try and get the bench as strong as we can. We'll be back in a minute to run through the team. Well, after a few games where we've had to have a lot of youngsters from the under-21 team on the bench, it is great to have 9 senior options on there. Albeit Jimmy Campbell's not quite fully fit. The fitness test says 60 minutes. Same in goal. I'm not going to bring Finnegan in for this cup game because Setford's fully in form. He's comfortable, he's fit, and Finnegan is just coming back from a knock. We've got a few others that are nearly there but not quite. And considering the players we're missing, we have managed to do pretty well. It means our 11 for today though is Setford in goal. Nelson and Luz on the fullbacks with Barrett and Tear as centre half. We've got a Moa Hagen on the right. He's covering for the injured Hames. Spassov still on the left. I'm amazed we kept hold of him. Brilliant to see that no one came in. I'm not quite sure why, based on him winning European Golden Boy. Ward is in central midfield. He replaces Gallagher, who we've got to manage the match load of now, with Rothwell alongside him, Vaknin and Ribeiro in form up front. They're finally fit, they're finally firing, and Chris Lewis doing all right behind them too. So let's go and get through to the first of this double header. 2 big cup games, and this one is particularly important for me because after beating 2 very difficult teams in the FA Cup last year, we threw it away at Leeds. Let's not do the same again. Well, again, I'm going to go a little bit gentler now because the voice is starting to break up a bit. We've got former player Chris Richards, who was signed last summer. Anthony is there, which is a bit of a weird one. Keane Lewis Potter always scores against us. And Archie Gray, the well-known skipper. Let's go and get through to the first half. Impress us, lads. Only one person's happier. But let's go and get through the tunnel interview. Let's get into the first half. Looks like it's more than half full to me. But Danny Cowley's men will be hoping to beat us again. Let's make sure we try and avoid it. We're just 6 minutes on the clock here and Leeds are trying to play out from the back. The left back finds his man Carboni. Rothwell the skipper in with a challenge, but we don't get possession back. Gray finds Braybook. Here come Leeds again. Starting really well here. Passing it quickly. Anthony through to Lewis Potter. He always scores against us. It'll be onside. It will count. I can assure you of that because he always scores against Palace. Let's go and check the goal review. It's a formality, I'm telling you. Goal awarded. 1-0. There you go. Well, according to the stats early on, this has been a pretty even game and we've had some chances, but we've not seen any evidence of that on the pitch. So let's hope we get something now. As Spassov tries to nick it high up the pitch, but he's been beaten by Walters. He'll carry the ball forward now. And we've got to watch out for the counter as Braybrook carries it into our half. Through ball to Anthony. That's awful. But he manages to get in so easily there. Stepford makes a very good save with his foot. We've got to do better at the back. Anthony will take the corner here. Outswinging delivery from the left-hand side. Delivers to the front post. Tear heads it away. Vaknin will get there. Not quite. Hagen knocks it away this time. It's not been a good start, has it? The stats suggest we're all right, but everything else is looking pretty poor. We're 5 to half time, and I just want to see one of these shots on target, and maybe an equaliser would be a good time to get back on terms as Spassov. Inside to Ward, he's been robbed again. We've been so slow and lethargic in the important areas, and Keane Lewis Potter just beaten there by Setford. We're gifting them opportunities here. Setford will take the long kick. Out towards the right to Hagen. flicked on, but the centre forwards have both dropped off for some reason, and Hall can play it away without any pressure. Anthony looks through again to Carboni. This tactic is tearing us apart. Keane Lewis Potter in, Barrett intercepts and is hoofed away to Walters. But again, the pressure isn't over. They're camped in our half. And I'd love to see how these stats are put together, because Leeds are dominant from what we've seen. Nelson brings it away. It stays 1-0. But look, I know they've got the better expected goals. Where are those shots that we're seeing? It's half-time, it's 1-0 to Leeds, and they look pretty good value for it to me. Well, just a couple of minutes gone in the second half. We returned as I watch Ward give away possession again. And here is Carboni to Jones. Gray chips it over to Lewis Potter. How many times do you want to get done in behind by the same ball? I know we're missing Rodolfo. He's our star defender. But this is a little bit of a joke now. I'm going to take Ward off in a minute because he's annoying me. Nothing personal. He's just annoying me the way he's playing. As Anthony's corner is headed away. Didn't beat the first man. Ribeiro up but can't do anything with it. I'm going to drop to balanced here. Hopefully it will stop us getting done in behind. Try and encourage them. Try and build the confidence. Maybe get some sort of response. With 25 to go, let's get the subs on. Vaknin has had a shocker. So Lewis will come on. Ribeiro switches sides. Definitely not bringing a new boy who can't finish on. At left back, I'm going to take off Luzon for the new boy Bois. He can get his debut out there. Ward will be replaced by Gallagher. Aldarv will come on for Rothwell. And we'll save one in case of injury. But for now, 4 changes made, and we need to get a response pretty quickly. I do not want to go out of the FA Cup to the same team twice. A team battling relegation in the Premier League, and they always seem to have our number, as here they are with Walters on the right-hand side to Potter. When we played them in the league, though, normally a very different story, which is annoying, as Walters goes back to Jones, chance to cross, instead plays short. Gallagher intercepts it, but Gray gets it immediately. Carboni goes back to Anthony. Lewis heads it back into the danger zone. What are you doing, man? Lewis Potter finds Braybrook to Gray. They're keeping it well again, and they're beating us to everything. We're losing every 50-50, but Spasov gets back. That's good football. Now get us away on the counter. Up to Chris Lewis, inside to Aldarv. He's got support here. The ball to Ribeiro's too late. I think it's offside. Lewis is in. He's put it in the back of the net. But will it count? I think it's going to. Ribeiro's got lucky there. I'm pretty sure he was off. He's going to be substituted now for Mancon. He's naturally had a much quieter month since the other 3 have returned from injury. But now, with the others looking knackered, it is his big chance to deliver. 10 minutes to go, we're back on terms. At least we're staying in the hat at the minute. But I'm not sure that this is going to be enough for us, because Leeds will now come to our place confident. As Lewis goes back to Bois. He's had a pretty decent start so far. Steady last 20 minutes since he's come on. As Nelson picks the ball up in the centre circle. Carries it forward down the right. Waits for Hagen's run, which never comes. And he delivers a lovely ball through to Manquon. But I think he's just off. The flag went up. We need VAR to be our friend here. An 88th minute winner could be on the way. But it's disallowed. It stays 1-1. And to be fair, I think we knew that was coming. Well, the 4 minutes of stoppage time are just about up. We're going to a replay with Leeds United. At least we're still in the hat. I'm not sure about the congestion though. It could make things a little tricky. Let's go and see where that replay falls into the schedule. And hopefully it won't affect our episode plans. Well, I think we're all right because it's not till after the second leg of the Europa Conference. So fingers crossed that will all go well in the next episode. But for now, we're going to get through to the first leg of Aberdeen. And of course, I'll let you know who we'll be facing if we are to get through against Leeds. Back in a moment for that. Well, here we are. It's fitness test time. And this is where we start to prioritise the cups. Because we've got an opportunity here, if we can get past Aberdeen, of pushing on in the Europa Conference. Let's go and see what sort of squad we can put out. We have, of course, got to worry about a game on Sunday in the league, but otherwise, we've got a pretty balanced schedule for the rest of this month. Of course, with that FA Cup replay now. So if we look, the squad we played at the weekend is all right, and there's a few others coming back to fitness. So let's go and adjust things a little. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, it's ended up being a pretty simple one. A few changes where players are similar in quality. We're trying to factor in yellow cards, suspensions, all of that sort of stuff. We've got a few players returning from injury on the bench. Finnegan returning from injury in goal. Aldarv and Gallagher come back in centre midfield. And Ribeiro and Lewis are up front. That's because of Vaknin's injury. So 4 changes. The goalkeeper, the 2 centre mids and Lewis. The rest of it stays the same. Let's go and see if it pays off. Well, Barry Robson in charge of this Aberdeen side. Not too many familiar names left there. Regan Slater drops out, who we've just managed in the Twitch save. Josh McPake comes in for him. But otherwise, there's not many familiar names left. Let's go and say we want to be impressed today. A few of them motivated. I just want to see what sort of quality they've got, because I'm trying to judge whether we play on the front foot here. Do we play positive? Do we try and get at them? I think we probably do. Mike Cooper in goal I missed as well at 34. It's a very old Aberdeen team. When you consider that the old firm clubs and a couple of the other Scottish ones have gone younger, this is a very experienced side here. So let's go and get into it. We know the music is coming. We're looking forward to Thursday night football. It's going to be a big one between Aberdeen and Crystal Palace. But let's be honest, we should be winning this. We're going to try positive at first. The main aim is to be in this in the second leg. At home and with 6 days off after, we'll have an advantage. So let's see the players out the tunnel. Let's try and get up for this game. Do not think you've won it because it's an SPL side. Scottish football has changed in this save. It's in a better position. It's in a healthy position. And we've got to try and make this count. A packed house at Pittodrie is going to be a thriller. Let's just hope we're on the right end of it. Well, the early stats look good because we've had all the shots, but without creating a highlight or anything substantial. You've got to say as well, one more point and we would have avoided this round altogether, as Aberdeen get the ball at the back with Cooper. Big ball over the top. Missed header by the defender. Poor from Danter there. Cabezas gets into the byline, cuts it back. The winger's unmarked. It's awful play. And after 16 minutes of dominance, we've conceded the first shot against us. Terrible defending, 1-0 Aberdeen. Now we've got some work to do. Well, our second problem of the night has quickly followed because Luzon is now picked up a knock. We're going to bring on Bois at left back for him. One substitution enforced, one awful goal conceded. We've not created much since the first 10 minutes, so we might just have to swallow our pride here. It's been a poor first half performance. I'm probably going to drop to balanced at half time because to not manage a shot for half an hour is awful. Let's go and get through the dressing room. We're going to encourage. No, we're going to say, what was that? Fair play. The assistant wants to go for it. He might well have upset the dressing room. I tell you what, he better get a response. Let's get into the second half and see what we get. As Cabezas switches the play to Walker. Nicked by Spasov high up the pitch to Lewis. Cuts inside. He's got options with him. Through ball is overhit to Ribeiro. Options behind him in Hagen. Ball into Spasov. The shot's blocked and is cleared away as far as the substitute. He crosses from the left. Ribeiro's up. Easy save for Cooper. He's offside anyway. It's not going to count. Let's encourage. 10 gone. We're improving. We've still not had a real goal threat. Well, approaching the hour mark. Corner kick coming in, but again, headed away easily. We're not creating anything particularly good here. Gallagher 25 yards out, robbed of possession. The ball winners look exhausted at the minute. Cabezas forward. It's a chance at a foul. He tried to take him out there. I think it was Gallagher. Who was it? No, it was Nelson. He gets away with it as Ter brings it away. Nelson finds Aldarve. Into Conor Gallagher. Will sub him soon. Chips over to Lewis though. Might have an assist. Chris Lewis puts it over. Off the crossbar on its way to. No composure in front of goal. Spasov's knackered already and Nelson's got a throw on the right. Can we at least get the equaliser as Ribeiro to Lewis? Oh, lovely shot. Out of nowhere, but the flag's up. Didn't look off to me, I've got to be honest, but we're not even going to VAR. Just not going to count. 25 to go. Let's get the subs on. We need a big change of style here. Well, I've organised our substitutes and I did think about bringing Vaknin on despite him not being recommended for selection. But despite that, we've gone for Joris Manquant instead. He is the top scorer for us in this competition this year. Both wingers on, Hames back from injury, Campbell as well. And then Rodolfo on for Barrett as centre-half. He's coming back to fitness too. So we've not got the fittest team on the pitch now. We've certainly got a lot closer to our best one. 20 minutes remaining, we've dominated the game. But we have got to find an equaliser in this first leg. I've got to say, with 4 minutes to go, it doesn't look like it's coming. Manquant in though with the header just wide. Gallagher's had to stay on because we didn't have enough subs to make the ones we wanted. And it looks like in a game where Aberdeen have had one shot on target, we're going to lose to it. We've dominated without scoring. We're 1-0 down after the away leg. And to be fair, we are going to have to respond at home. You'd argue on the balance of play, we might be able to get through still. But that is a worrying first leg effort, and we're going to need to be far better. Well, maybe the injuries and a bit of bad luck just caught up with us in that one. It wasn't a terrible effort, but unfortunately, we are on the wrong side of the result. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're going to be back. I'm still pretty confident that we get through both Aberdeen and Leeds. We'll see if we're still in the 2 Cups next time. But we are going to be back, I think, just after the international break in March, because at the start of April, we face 2 sides in games that are going to be huge in that battle for the top 7. Chelsea and Newcastle are the 2 sides directly below us at the minute. Whether the cups will stop that from being the case next time around, we'll wait and see. But it promises to be pretty big. Of course, if we get massive draws in the cup, I will change the schedule. But for now, that is the current plan. If you're looking forward to it, you did enjoy this one, 2 pretty abject performances and results, then please do put a thumbs up on it. As I said yesterday in the other save, I do appreciate you sticking with the croaky voice videos this week. I've got 4 days off before my next recording now, so touch wood and fingers crossed we'll be back to 100% next time. But let me know in the comments if you think we'll get through in both cups or if we are going to fall in at least one of them. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on if you want to stay up to date. And of course, while you wait for the next one to come around here, we'll be back with a Builder Nation tomorrow. The latest season of that is in the eye above. There's also links there to the Twitch channel, the football podcast and the blog story as well. Do check out our new sponsor, link in the description if you're in the US. And thank you very much for watching as always. I do appreciate your support. And I'll see you back here next time for more big games from the head coach.